another incident down in the Wells Garage with Graham and Garrett and a group of teenagers that,
Have you seen a video of that incident?
I did see that video the last time that we were here, but that one I witnessed.
Did you call the police when you saw
I
that?
did.
fight? Did you believe that there was a safety concern?
I did.
These fights that you've described, is it your understanding that they relate to the public being upset with what the defendants are doing?
Yeah, the one down in the garage, it was the kids didn't want to be videotaped, and they had asked them.
Objection, relevance. First of all, there's the doctrine of heckler's veto. So whatever, the fact that a particular point of view may be unpopular and may engender whatever is not a, certainly not a valid basis for my personal intellectual expression or my. Secondly, whether a point of view is popular or unpopular has certainly no legal bearing on First Amendment protection. Thirdly, this witness's speculation as to what the public thinks or not doesn't think is without foundation, not relevant.
Just on the relevance issue, and we're going to have a legal argument on the constitutional issues at the end of the hearing, but on the relevance, what does it matter whether their activities are popular or unpopular with members of the public?
Your Honor, respectfully, this is very relevant. The reason why this is relevant is because if the parking enforcement officers encounter safety concerns above and beyond what they normally would encounter in doing this job, that's relevant to whether or not they feel safe and secure in the position, and therefore it's relevant to whether or not they want to continue in the position, and therefore it's relevant to whether or not there's intentional interference with contractual relations. To the extent that the defendants can create conditions where the parking enforcement officers don't feel safe, that encourages them to resign.
Your Honor, if there's anything that can better encapsulate the complete violation of constitutional rights involved by this proceeding, is that last answer from counsel. To imply that it's okay to do something because it's popular, but not okay to express a point of view that's unpopular because it might distract parking enforcement officers is essentially to acknowledge that this whole proceeding is nothing more, nothing less than a violation of constitutional rights. But I understand the court's reserving that issue. My objection at this point is that, quite apart from relevance, or except in terms of as it amplifies the constitutional violation, this witness's knowledge as to what the general public reaction is to the violation.
Let me put it this way. If you want to ask the witness what specifically took place in this incident in question, that's fine, but questions about her understanding of the public sentiments, the objection sustained as to that. But what she specifically observed, I'll allow that.
That's perfectly fine. If I may simply clarify quickly, since Attorney Meyer.
No, I want you to move on. I don't want this to be a protracted legal argument about this. Ask the question.
Okay. Jane, if conditions exist around you when you're doing your job that make you feel unsafe, regardless of why the conditions exist, meaning regardless of what the motivations or intentions of the parties are, if you feel unsafe when you're doing your job, does that make you not want to do your job?
Yes.
So just to be abundantly clear here, it has nothing to do.
Wait, no, this is for the,
I'm sorry, I'll withdraw the question. Let's go back to the pictures here. You could look at page 10. And again, please describe what you're seeing here and who's in the picture.
This is Lynn and I crossing the street on Main Street. This happened to be the day that I previously was just talking about the fight that happened in the Wells Garage.
Is that description above the picture correct?
Yes.
Look at page 11. If you can you identify what this picture is and who's in it?
That's Linda crossing the street on Main Street.
Is this the same day as the picture that we just looked at, page 10?
I
How
assume
is
so.
Jackson Foundation, how much you know?
She can explain how she knows. That's what I'm asking her.
If it's the same day, then yes. I don't know if this
Okay,
is the same.
that's fine,
day.
that's fine. Let's look at page 12. Can you describe who's in this picture and what it is that you're seeing?
Yeah, that's Linda and I, and we are going down Church Street toward the Wells Garage.
Do you know why your back is to the person taking this image?
Is there behind me? Looks like this particular picture, I was facing the other way. I was gonna go in another direction, and Lynn had just spoken to me, so I turned around to answer her.
When you say you were going to go in another direction, do I understand that correctly to mean that you had to change course?
Yes.
Let's look at picture 13, page 13. Again, who's in the picture and what is it that you see?
That's Lynn and I, and we are in the Wells lot, still heading toward the Wells Garage.
If I can reference you back to page 12 that we just saw. We were talking about how that image was taken from behind you. Is this image taken from behind you or in front of you?
In front of me.
How is it, if you recall, that the person taking the picture was able to take one from behind you and then in front of you?
They ran down the street,
So they ran around you.
yes. They were running away from the kids that were also there.
And let's look at picture 14. What is it and who's in the picture?
And that's Lynn and I, and Lynn has her hand up telling Garrett not to talk to her.
And let's look at picture 15. Who's in this picture and what is it?
This is Lynn in the parking garage of Wells, and that's one of the teenagers. I'm not sure which one it is.
Jackson, I believe a lot of these people, first of all, some of these people have already been identified. Secondly, there's no foundation in terms of this witness having any personal connection to this picture.
I was there.
So there's no foundation yet.
I think that supplies a necessary foundation. You may proceed.
That would have been my follow-up question. Let's go to page 16. What's this picture? Who's in it and how do you know?
It's me writing a ticket. And I don't know who was filming. I'm assuming this was in the winter time, it was a long time ago, so I'm not really sure.
Let's go to page 17. What's this a picture of? Who's in it and how do you know?
Oh, let's see, well, it's a picture of me walking down Main Street going north, I think. James Cleveland is in it, and I'm not sure of the names of the other two individuals.
You testified earlier about being followed in groups.
Yes,
Is this picture characteristic of that type of activity?
yes.
Let's turn to page 18. What's this a picture of? Who's in it and how do you know?
It's, I'm really not sure if that's me. I'm assuming it's me. On, West Street, heading toward Federal Street. Looks like I just crossed the street, looks like I'm running and, or walking very fast. And James Cleveland is one of the people, and I'm not sure of the identity of the other person with the camera.
You testified earlier that you've been chased across the street before. Is this characteristic of what you were describing?
Yes.
And let's turn to page 19. Can you tell me what this is a picture of and who the people are that are in it and how you know?
This is the typical Robin Hood gang, and it's James Cleveland, Kate Ager, Garrett Ian Bernard, and Graham Colson.
Have each of these individuals followed you on your job?
Yes,
Have each of these individuals taken actions that prevent you from doing your job?
yes,
Your Honor, I believe that every picture within this document has now been identified by one of our witnesses. I'd like to enter it as a floor exhibit.
Any objection?
I have no objection to the pictures, I'm really trying to show the captions.
I agree, the exhibits in it, with the exception of the caption, in all other respects, it can be marked as a full exhibit.
Just to clarify, when we're talking about the caption, there are, and if I may describe what we're seeing, if you were to look at the first picture, page 1.
I mean both the source and description parts of that. There's been testimony with respect to a number of them regarding description. It's repetitive to have the additional evidence regarding the description, the text come in, but in all other respects, it's a full exhibit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have you ever been followed on any of your breaks?
I have, when I used to take a break, in my car, I had them sit outside my car before waiting for me. When I go into the library or city hall to use the restroom, they follow me and wait.
Now, your break, is that your own time, or are you expected to do things on behalf of the city during that period of time?
That's my own time.
Do you ticket any meters during your breaks?
No,
Do you patrol the streets during your breaks?
no,
Have you ever been followed into any buildings?
yes.
Who's followed you into buildings?
They've all, at one time or another, have followed me either in and out of the library or city hall. And there was one, a few Saturdays ago where I go into the post office to pick up the mail for the police department, and James Cleveland, went into the building as I did. He went over to get stamps, but it was when the building was closed, the lobby was empty. So it was very intimidating to have him follow me in the building.
Are there any parking meters inside buildings?
No,
Has anybody ever told you that they'd help you, or let me rephrase, have any of the defendants ever told you that they would help you find another job or words to that effect?
yes.
And who's done that?
Ian Bernard, James Cleveland.
Is there anything else that they've done to you that we haven't discussed this morning?
Just the name calling me a liar and a thief. Ian Bernard at one point asked me how I slept at night. And they've said to me that I hold cars hostage, and have said to me, you can't actually like your job, can you, with the things that you do.
In addition to the defendants encouraging you to quit your job, has Ian Freeman ever told you he'll help you get a different job?
Yes,
Has anybody else ever told you that?
I don't believe so.
Have you ever asked the defendants to stop this?
Yes.
What have you asked them to do?
I've asked them to go down street and fill meters and to leave me alone.
What happens when you ask them to stop?
That they say they have to follow me to make sure I don't write any tickets.
We can go back to something you just said, question back. I call correctly, you said you asked them to go down the street and fill meters.
To go down street,
Down street.
downtown.
Are you asking them that so you can get distance from them?
Yes. I don't care if they fill meters, they just need to do it away from me.
How long has this been going on?
A year. I had 3 months of normalcy with my job, and then in December, they came out and they haven't been missing since.
Do you see any signs of it slowing down?
No,
Do you see signs of it increasing?
yeah,
On the first day of this hearing, we heard testimony from Mary Kimmel about the stress that this has caused you. Was her description accurate?
yes,
Have you tried to avoid them when you're doing your job?
yes.
Why do you do that?
Because when they're around me like that, that feeling of not being able to get away. And so I have had times where I've hid behind dumpsters and in doorways and gone through alleys and behind buildings just to try to avoid them.
How does it make you feel hiding behind a dumpster?
Not very good.
Before all